DigiVan.
Hey guys, welcome back to the DigiVan Podcast. This is an In My Shoes special. My name's Liv.
My name's Indiana.
I'm Charlotte.
And I'm Izzy.
Today we have a very special guest, Australia's UN representative, Janice Rodrigues, and we hear you on your listening tour. What exactly is that?
Yeah, so my listening tour is a process that happens for like 6 to 7 months, and it's literally me. It's just literally listening. I travel every state and territory across Australia at least once, so I've done that once and would do it a second time. And yeah, my goal is just to hear from young people and organisations about some of the most pressing issues affecting your lives, but also what you'd like to see our government do better.
And tell us exactly how you're finding it.
Very hectic and busy because I'm working at the same time, so it's quite intense. But it's really cool to meet young people all across our country and see how unique it is every different place that I go to. A lot of challenges overlap, and I think a lot of hopelessness is the vibe that young people are giving me this year, in terms of sometimes feeling like the world is a chaotic time, but also not having as much trust in like decision makers in our country, but also like at that international level as well. So I think a lot of acknowledgement, that the world is really hard right now, but it's cool to see young people still showing up and doing things in their community.
Nice.
How does a day on the listening tour start for you?
Ooh, a day on the listening tour. So it depends on if I'm working or not. If I'm working, it'll be like working during the day and then after hours just back-to-back consultations. But I guess when I'm in a different state or territory, it'll look like literally waking up, maybe going to a high school for a few hours to speak to students and going into meetings with like professionals or people working with young people during the day. So it could be organisations focused on like disability, any range of topics related to young people. Then it's like after hours, I'll try my best to go to like youth drop-in centres. So youth centres that just have fun activities around. Just go and have a yap with people. So yeah.
Nice.
We hear you're an area girl. What's your favourite thing to do in your hometown?
Well, I live in around Edmondson Park. I really like Iggy's in Ed Square.
Oh, I love it.
Everything's a bit food-centred for me. I'm so sorry.
My friend used to work at Iggy's. We got the discount. It was so good.
Lucky.
I need the discount. And I will also add a second one. If you have a car and can drive, like 20 minutes out, there's a place called Roman's Deli.
Oh, yeah.
I've been there.
Sandwiches and matcha.
Yeah,
Best place ever.
Yeah, it's very food-centred at this point in time.
I really like curbside from Ed Square though.
Curbside is nice. Yeah, that's really good.
What was your favourite place you travelled for work? Like, was it rural or city? You know?
Yeah, I think probably rural. I think I like to just be out in nature low-key. My favourite place so far was maybe Alice Springs. So I've never been to the NT before until I did this role. And Alice Springs was pretty cool. And that's, I guess, a bit regional because you could see nature stuff everywhere, like gigantic rocks and cool things that were really red, which was fun. But also meeting a lot of young people in like rural or regional New South Wales, or like even across the country, how different it was. Like in Alice Springs, I landed and I met like Indigenous young people who English was like their 7th language. So they'd speak like 6 Indigenous languages. Wow. And I was like, I've never seen that anywhere else. So that was really cool.
Yeah. Nice. Do you have a favourite TV show to watch when you're on tour?
Yeah, so I don't think I watch anything like back to back while I'm on tour. I feel like I just find anything that's like interesting. So as I mentioned before, something I watched recently was Heartbreak High. And before that was Exo Kitty. I feel like my brain is still in high school. I don't know. But I'm just like, when I'm hearing a lot about just like challenges in the world is crazy, I'm like, I just want to watch something chill. And,
Are you a To All the Boys I Love Before fan? Like the Exo Kitty?
I don't know if I'm a big, like I'll watch it and then cringe at it.
That's fair.
But it's like a
can be
mindless
quite cringy,
watch,
yeah.
which I think is good.
I feel that for Exo Kitty. Like, I'm like...
So you're very orientated towards like your more high school, teenage type
just
of
like,
movies?
yeah, anything that'll disconnect me from the state of the world.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow, they just have like a teen romance and they're just in school and they're just like in America.
They're just like in America.
So as you said, you're from Southwest Sydney, Ed Square. So how was it growing up there?
Yeah, so I grew up in Bankstown and then, moved to Edmondson Park a little bit later. I think growing up there was, very diverse community in Bankstown, but also I don't think I realised, like, how unique that was. Like, when I went to Sydney Uni, I was like, whoa, this is really different to Southwest Sydney in terms of, like, in Western Sydney, I'd say a lot of us can, like, afford basic things and go to school and stuff like that, but compared to the rest of New South Wales, might not have the biggest access to opportunities or things like that as well. So I think growing up in Bankstown was a lot of, seeing how strong and connected the community was, but also like I did know a lot of people who had lived experience of different things, like seeing domestic violence or different things in the community, that later on I realized growing up in that area probably unintentionally led me down a more advocacy pathway, just because I knew so many young people who, like, I made it to uni because there was a big push for education, but a lot of people I grew up with like didn't get to go to tertiary education or do stuff outside of that. So that's kind of what it was like growing up.
How did you become the youth representative, and what led you to have interest in this job? Yeah.
Cool. I think it was definitely not a linear path at all. Like, even when I say my role, people are like, how are you going to the UN? That's wild. I'm like, I don't really know how to explain it. I'd say probably late high school, I was interested in like volunteering a bit. So volunteered at a youth centre, volunteered at Vinnie's, which was just rogue. You just sort through clothes. But I was like, yeah, why not? Try it. And then late high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do at uni. I was like, I'm just going to work my ass off and see what degree I can do. And then went to an open day at uni and heard about like a course that was like politics and international relations. And I was like, I don't know anyone in my school who's interested in that. Like, a lot of people would do like, I don't know, engineering or nursing or teaching, and like rightfully so, things where you have a guaranteed job. But I was like, I'm interested in how the world works, and went through uni that way. And I think while I was in uni was when I started getting a bit more interested in advocacy. Like, I started volunteering at like a domestic violence shelter, a couple of other organizations, and then did more like a national advocacy program where I got to learn about like change making and advocacy. And when I was in that program, I was like, wow, you can be a young person and have a voice and care about things in your community, and like you have a right to talk to decision makers and be like, this is what I want to see changed. So doing that at uni really made me realize like, whoa, I really like this kind of work. And then after uni, transitioned into youth work, which was interesting for a couple of years. So working with young people from refugee backgrounds, and that's actually when I applied for the role. So last year was when I applied. I thought, I'm a young person who does a bit of advocacy outside of my work, but I was like, I just really like listening to other young people and hearing everyone's experiences and seeing how we can make our systems better. I was like, I'm by no means an international diplomat or someone who's like traveled the world, but I was like, I'll just see that way if I can apply and what happens. And then I got the role, and it's been pretty cool so far.
So I'll just ask one final question. Do you have any last questions for us about what we do?
Yeah, I actually have a couple of questions, but maybe I'll start with one. I guess what led you to want to have a go at like doing something like this for placement?
I'll go first. Mainly because just entertainment, there's a lot of aspects of it, and for entertainment, it's good to know about like what happens behind the scenes. You can always see what's happening on stage, but it's very nice and like intriguing to know what's actually in production to get to that point in time where everything comes together and it's something that you'd never think about.
It's just a really fun opportunity to do, and even this placement, like you get to work with people from other schools, and we get to do this interview and just see how the industry works. It's really fun.
I just think it's like a good opportunity because I get to see what goes on in the background, especially because no one really, how do I say it? Like no one really like sees what's going on, and I like to see. I want to know what's going on, and I want to like help. If you know what I mean,
yeah. I've always loved like entertainment and being on stage. From a young age, I've been growing up on the stage, so I love seeing how all kind of the technological side of it.
Yes, that is a word.
And just seeing how that all comes together.
I have another question then. Since I was asked as well, what's your favourite thing to do around Southwest Sydney, or if you don't live here, wherever?
Eat. Sorry, did I say that?
Where? If eating, what do you eat?
I like Ed Square Tavern.
Really?
We've gone there with
I've
my
never
family a
been
few times,
there.
and it's quite.
The Willowdale Hotel's quite nice.
I like
I've never
hotels, like your food hotels. They're always so bougie. It makes you
I've
feel
heard
so
Oran Park
fancy.
has a good one.
It's good. I've been there as well.
Oh, okay.
We've been to all the hotels in
going
there.
to like for me, I like going to the city, just like walk around. And like the Royal Botanic Garden is really fun, but I also like going to Parramatta Westfields.
Yeah.
So much shopping.
Honestly, if I
And
go
food.
out, I don't go in Southwest Sydney. I just go to like the Shire or something.
Oh,
The
Shire.
Sutherland Shire.
Sutherland Shire. I
That
always
doesn't
go-
like the Cronulla.
Yeah, no, Sutherland
stuff.
Shire.
I
Like
just-
Cronulla.
If I go out,
Yeah.
I go there mainly, or I go to like
That's
Ed
valid.
Square.
It's like the closest beach to us.
I
probably.
like riding my bike though, because where I live,
like a
I
little
live-
esche.
No, not an e-bike.
on the e-bike.
Because I live near a lot of lakes and stuff, so it's fun. I
Oh,
can go
nice.
near the lakes and
Yeah.
go
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about being a voice for the youth?
Ooh, a lot of pressure. I will say. I think what's really tricky about this role, to be honest, is that I work in state government, which is fun. But my role through the UN is like it sits outside of government, so we run like the largest youth consultation process across the country ever, and it's like led by myself and a bunch of volunteers under 25. So we're all literally like people doing research and comms. They're literally all like. We're all children, which is really cool. But the way the role works is like the government actually doesn't have to say that, oh, we're going to listen to you. So I can collect all sorts of data on all sorts of things, but my role is still like to advocate and to push for change. So I think that's what's
So,
kind of hard.
sorry to interrupt. So is this a voluntary role, or do you like actually, is this like a full-time job that you actually...
It's like a voluntary role, but it's pretty much full-time volunteer outside of full-time work. So it's, UN Youth funds the listening tour part, and then the government funds the part where I go to New York. But yeah, it's pretty much like every year we write a report and we send it to government, but we have to really advocate because when, you're hearing like 3,000 to 5,000 young people tell you all their biggest challenges, it is a bit of like, I need to tell someone about it. I can't just sit in my head. So it's a lot of advocating to different systems.
Yeah. So what do you do as a job outside of this role?
Yeah. So like 3 months ago, I was a youth worker. But for the last 3 months now, I'm working in state government. So I work at Multicultural New South Wales and I do youth and community engagement. So it's kind of interesting, but my role is pretty much acting like a messenger or voice between what community people have to say and what government has to say. So I'll go to community events or meet different people and it's like, people might be talking about like international conflict or like how the police treatment is in the area or how things are going in hospitals, and they feed that back to me and then I feed back to government to be like, people in this area want this changed, and it's pretty much all across New South Wales. So it's looking at like regional remote communities. Like sometimes I'm on a call with someone in Broken Hill, which is like, I don't know how many hours drive away. Can't even drive there. It's too long.
Many hours away.
Many hours away. So it's literally being a voice to government essentially.
How do you deal with like, because some people will want this or some people want that. How do you deal with just doing all of it at once?
Yeah, it's sometimes hard. I think it's like learning to say no to people or being like, there are certain things I can help with. There are certain things that I can't help with because, it's like it's either a federal government issue or it's just I can't.
So you've got to kind of weigh what's possible for you to achieve.
What's possible for me to do and what's not possible. So it's like, but I am learning to be less of a people pleaser. I feel like in general, sometimes I can be, which I'm like, a lot of people are like that. But trying to say no a little bit more. Actually, I have a question for all of you that I usually ask in my consultation. But what's something that you'd say is like a challenge for young people right now? It could be anything.
The worst one for me would probably be like the inability for adolescents to speak about their own mental health. That is something that a lot of people struggle with out of like either social pressure or maybe your parents aren't as acceptable, like there's no way to get the access, mental health or something. A lot of young adults deal with speaking up about.
Mental health's a big one.
I'd probably say like cost of living and mental health. Like I feel like the resources to mental health, they're catered for children or adults. Like there's not much for teens. Like I've gone to psychology and like, I was like 12 and they would be like, oh, draw your feelings, and it's like, I want to get like
I'm dealing with a bigger crisis here.
Like you're an adult, you don't get the right treatment. So I feel like there need to be better advocacy for teens.
There needs to be that in between.
Yeah. And like cost of living and everything, it's going to be very hard for, Gen Z to get houses and stuff. Now, houses are like $2 million.
Which is crazy because I'm like, 30 years ago, someone your age wouldn't be like, housing is so hard. People probably just thought, I can buy a house.
Yeah, but
save for a few years, I've got a house.
Yeah, we're just going to have to worry about it because we'll have to save up like $2 million.
And it'll be even higher by the time we go up.
Yeah, exactly.
I think like there's a lot of different peer pressure that we go through, especially in like very
like the expectations in groups.
Expectations.
Yes.
Like vapes would be your worst one now. The expectation that every teenager should vape to look cool is just not a good idea.
Yeah.
And like smoking and drinking, there's a lot that's going on in our youth. It's our like expectation that we should do that too, but
exactly. Even if you don't want to, it's like the peer pressure
like to fit in.
Yeah,
and then even that peer pressure, you lead that to bullying, and that just worsens the mental health again for all the teenagers. It's bad.
Yeah.
E-bikes.
E-bikes. Don't go on e-bikes, guys.
Final message.
Peer pressure for e-bikes. No.
No. Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to
good.
interview you, and thank you so much for coming and
good.
you know answering all our questions.
We
Thanks
had a
for
good
having
time.
me. Very entertaining.
Been a good time. I'm glad.